basically, what is OBW? Before going to the course content, right? What is OBIW? Basically, it's a reporting tool, simple words, which was, application or a tool provided by the Oracle. Oracle is famous for his data warehouse things or the security models of storing the data and all other sort of things. When someone says database, Oracle is one of the things which will comes in the mind immediately. So along with the databases, it provides many of the middleware applications, reporting tools, ETLs, and many other things. So OBW is the reporting tool which was provided by the Oracle, and initially it was with NQS, then Cbell, then to the Oracle has acquired Cbell. That's how the OBW came into picture. We will see the history later on, but normally OBW is one of the strong BI tools in today's market, and its major advantages will be the security part along with different beautiful visuals. The course that I will be covering is 12c, the latest version of the 12c. So we have multiple versions in OBW starting with 10G, which is very older one. After the initial acquisition of Cbell Analytics, Oracle has changed it to OBW 10G. Then they made few more patches and everything inside the 10G. Afterwards, they came up with a new release that is the 11G version. And later on, we have another version that is the 12C, which is the latest one. Inside 12C, we do have multiple versions again. So I'll be going with the 12.2.14, the latest version of the OBIW. The advantage of having the 12C is it will give a strong competition to other BI tools. In the sense, if you have an Excel sheet, you can directly upload it to OBW like any of the free open sources that are available in the reporting side. So basically what the BI will do, as I said, OBW, it will create the reports. When you have the data in the database or Excel sheet or in any of the form, when you have some data, the data will be pictorially represented in a easier way that the end user will get the idea of his business. So in the end, when the data comes and stored in the database, no end user normally wants to go back to database and query the SQLs and everything to get his results. Although if you get the result, it will be a much more lengthier query or lengthier outputs. Whereas the reporting will make it simpler to understand the functionalities and how the business is shaping into. It might be any of the requirement, but everything can be customized by using the data in any of the reporting tool. When I say reporting, it not only OBI, it can be OBI or any of the reporting tools. So in our course, we will be seeing the OBIW, in which what are the different concepts, what are the different advantages, disadvantages, possibilities, and drawbacks likewise. So the entire course is modeled in such a way that I will be treating it as a complete fresher, or let us say at least some SQL knowledge, and taking him to the OBW developer perspective. When I say OBW developer, I'll be assuming it as a individual person or individual developer working. So he needs some part of admin and major parts of the RPD and catalog. What are those things? We'll come to see one by one. So this is the overall course structure, in which we'll be seeing the first two classes probably today and tomorrow, the data modeling and the data warehouse concepts. We will be seeing the OBW installation. I'll make you a walkthrough of the installation, and here comes the development process or different topics that we will cover in OBW development. And these are the concepts of admin. Why I am covering few of the concepts is, if you are a single developer, it is suggested to know how to upload the RPD or how to download the RPD and migrating code from one server to the other server. That's why I'm going to cover few of the concepts. And what are the new features of 12c? These are the new features of 12c basically. And I will just, if time permits, I will show you the differences between 11g and 12c as well. I mean the architecture wise, deployment wise, and everything. Okay, so first of all, what is a simple data? We are saying about data, data and data. Data is nothing but any meaningful information or anything that can be represented when you are saying some business or something. It can be called as simply data. And data can be classified into two types. As you both are from functional and ODI perspective, so I'll just cover it on a faster mode and a higher level so that we can spend more time on the OBEE. Okay. So basically, as you guys know, data is of two types. One is the transactional and another one is analytical one. So the transactional is nothing but a day-to-day transactions which is going to happen. Whereas the analytical one, we will be storing the data in a some place called as the data warehouse or the data mart or whatever you name it, holding area. Basically, these are the background scenarios which will comes into the picture. But for a OBW developer or a admin, we will have the data stored in a database simply. And we're going to pull the data and we're going to create the report. It's as simple as that. It might be in any of the stage, it might be in any of the database as well. When it comes to not only Oracle, it might be database or cloud or Excel sheets, anything. When we pick up like this data is required in from this source, we will pick it up directly and we will create the reports out of it. So this will be the typical architecture of a data warehouse in which we will be having individual OLTP systems like the CRM and ERP, where multiple customers will hit the each and every source system and they will comes to a OLTP system here. This will be the ETL part which I have given on a higher level where they will be doing, extracting, transforming and loading. So on a higher level, we need all this data, right? If we have 5 to 6 source systems, in order to check the business, we need all the source systems data to be captured together and to be stored in a single place. So we can query the database or we can use the database to create the reports. So ETL will does that thing. Basically, ETL will load the data from different OLTP systems or what you call it as the source systems. They will be doing some transformations and everything, filterings and all, and they will load the data into a data warehouse or a OLAP system. There is a difference between OLAP and a data warehouse. Basically, once the data is in the data warehouse, there comes the part of reporting tool. And OBW, SAP BO, MSBI, like few of the tools, there is a extra thing other than the front-end reporting called as the semantic layer. Basically, what is a OBW? In the end, when you see some pictorial representation or some graphs, some tables of data, that will be the thing which the business wants it. Normally, any of the reporting tool will have that front-end UI where it can display the data in a more meaningful way. That is the dashboards or the reports. But for few of the tools like, as I said, OBW, SAP, BO, business objects and all, we have a backend semantic layer. In OBW, we call this semantic layer as the RPD. What is the RPD? Normally that is the repository document or the repository, few people will call it as, where we will take only the selected tables from the data warehouse, because as I said, data warehouse is the place where you will store entire data. But when you're picking or going for a single solution or for a specific solution, you don't want all the data or all the tables. So there is no point of hitting the entire database or getting all the data. So we have a part called semantic layer, or in OBW, as I said, we call it as the RPD, where we will pull the specific tables from the specific schema and model it here. Why we need to model it again? If you have joins on the data warehouse, we will get it directly. If you don't, you have a privilege or an option to make the joins and take the left outer, right outer without changing in the data warehouse. If you change or you're going to store it in the data warehouse as a separate table, it will create the space issues and multiple more. Because for every scenario, you cannot go back to the data warehouse to do the requirements. Rather, in the semantic layer, you have a option to do it in a logical way. What is the difference between logical and a physical? Physical means you're going to create a table in the data warehouse for some left outer join condition. Whereas in the semantic layer or in the RPD, you will do it in a logical way. Means you're not going to touch the data, but you are indirectly writing a SQL statement which will hit the data warehouse and get the data as per your requirement. So that will be the beauty of the OBW RPD or the semantic layer. Once you're good with the RPD part, you will be moved to the front-end dashboards or the reporting side, where you will be creating the front-end reports. So the major data warehouse tools that are available in today's market will be like this. So ETL, obviously the Informatica, Ab Initio, DataStage, ODA likewise. And coming to reporting, I have kept it as two different things because BA Publisher, although it comes with the OBWE, it will not be covered because that's it altogether different concept about the customizations, XMLs and all. So BAW, BA Publisher, Cognos, ClickView, MSTR likewise. Tableau is also one of the important one in today's market. Basically, this is a previous one, so I'm going to simply change it. So these are the different components of OBWE. One will be the admin tool, which is used to model the semantic layer or the RPD, and the answers, which is nothing but the front-end reports. We'll come to see this nomenclature part by part, but first let's see the data warehouse concepts. The normal interview question of a OBWE developer will be, if you are kind of a fresher or so, there will be normal things like when you will go for the OBWE, or what are the differences between OLTP versus OLAP. So likewise. So I have just given a step to step so that even a fresher can understand what we're going to do. But as you guys are already aware of this, I'm just skipping it, some pieces of it. So basically what are the things I will just show you in a higher level. So basically I will share this document also. This is the difference between OLTP and OLAP. What are the nomenclatures that we're going to see in the OBWE? Basically, we'll be calling database and then the schemas, tables and columns. These are the four things which we will use along with the keys, obviously. So these are the nomenclature using in the OBWE. Basically, this is the RPD screenshot from where you will be getting these different representations. What is a key? Basically, anyone? Have you heard of primary key and foreign keys?
Uniquely identifying a particular row in a table.
Correct. That is called as
Key.
Primary key. Unique
primary
identification.
Key. Yes,
And the
primary.
foreign key. Foreign key? A reference to the primary key of other table. Simple words. Or a reference.
Yeah.
Sorry, Prashant, you're saying something?
I also said this. It's a reference.
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. So what about the dimension table and fact tables? Basically, what is a dimension table, right? When you have only the details or the attributes, we can call it as a dimension table. For example, let us take some department. So if you take department as a table, what are the columns it might have? Department ID, department name, location, department head, likewise. So In that, when you have no measure, you can call it as a dimension table. Then what about the fact table? A fact table is nothing but when you have at least one of the measure to aggregate or use it to aggregate the data, we can call it as a fact tables. Or we have multiple ways of saying this one. Technically, in the database perspectives, this is just a simple understanding definition. Normally, a dimension table, simple words,
Bharat,
will
can you
contain
scroll it down a little because we
yeah.
are not able to see your screen. Yeah, it is fine.
No, I just kept it there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yep. Basically, dimension table is nothing but which will contain the details, and a fact table, it will contain the aggregated data. Like, for example, let us say department table has number of department details, and whereas one more table, it has department ID and number of employees working in department table. For example, let me show you. Something likewise, and you have repetitive, whereas you have one more fact table where you can have multiple things. So basically whatever I wrote in this Word document, right, it is pure out of the book technical things, but in practically we might be slight changes when I'm speaking. So here the technical definition will be, if a table contains at least one measure column, that is called as the fact table, else it's called as the dimension table. So when we have these dimensions and facts, how we are going to model those, how we are going to join those, this is the important concept when you are becoming a OBW developer. Why? Because you have different ways of joining it. Previously, when I shown you multiple dimension tables like vendor, geography, time, and product, those are not directly joined, but they can be joined directly as well, right? Without any fact tables. So what will happen, and what are the different ways or different schemas that we can join these facts and dimensions? And once we join this, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? So we will see now. Basically, when you combine a group of tables with some logical relationships or a relationship, we call it as a schema, and it can be classified into three types: star schema, snowflake schema, and some people call it as hybrid schema, galaxy schema, constellation, mixed schema, whatever you call it as. Majorly, we will be having star schema and snowflake schema in the RPD, and coming to the front end, we will always be using star schema only. Why? Because we will see it now due to the performance issues while fetching the data. And we have one of the important concept called converting snowflake schema to star schema within RPD or the within OBA-EE. We have a separate exercise. So what is a star schema? Basically, star schema organizes the data into a central fact table with surrounding dimension tables. Each dimension row has many associated fact rows. Obviously, as I said, one product can be sold n number of times. So every time a product is sold, a invoice will be generated. So in that scenario, one to many relationship in simple words. One dimension row will have many associated fact rows, or it can be one also. That's why we're saying it as one to many. So this is a relationship in normal words. Dimension tables do not relate directly in star schemas. All dimension tables are denormalized, optimized to read the data, user friendly. Coming to OBE, we have multiple layers which we'll come to see, and in BMM layer only star schemas are used. If there is a snowflake, you have to convert it into star schema. And a theoretical explanation of what is a star schema you can be seen here. Fact, dimension, 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 and dimension. So this thing why I kept is like one row can have n number of occurrences in the fact. So that's why relationship, logical relationship, one to many, likewise. And this is the relationship in OBW or the diagram from the OBW admin tool. So this is the fact table, this is the dimension table, and dimension table. If you see the difference between these two is in OBW, you will always join fact to dimension. Why? Because fact will have the foreign key. You have to fetch the details from a dimension. So it means you are going to join from fact to dimension in OBW. This is one of the important or some of the silliest mistakes we will do normally. Okay. So always remember fact to dimension we will join in the physical layer or in the RPD. So this is the star schema. Then what is a snowflake schema? The major difference between these two will be in star schema there is no relationship between any of the dimensions. Everything is joined with a centered fact. So which will display as a star schema. So in case if you want to club these two details of dimension 1 and dimension 4, you must have a fact in between included in that query or in that report, or else you cannot get direct relationships, right? Whereas coming to the snowflake schema, I've just given few more examples like how it will go from here and there. In the snowflake schema, normalized tables are used. It is also called as extended star schema. In this one, two dimension tables will directly join. Like star schema, it has only one fact table. What is the difference? If you forget these two tables, okay, you forget these two tables, these four will act as a star schema. But whereas the product again has some product subtypes and all. Of course, you can club it here, but again it will make a larger table. So in order to segregate that on the database or from a functional perspective, we have created a single entity into multiple sub-entities. So if you want to fetch the details, there will be relationship between multiple entities, but it will become a snowflake schema. What is the difference? Here, there is a join between dimension to dimension. And if you want to fetch the details from this one to fact, you have to traverse through another dimension, which will cause some performance issue in the front end or in the OBW. Because, for example, I want to fetch what is the subtype of a invoice or for the order I have created. First, it has to look for the product, then it has to go for the subtype and its ID. Because you cannot directly join from here. Whatever things in the order, it can only be seen related to product, not to the product subtype. So I have just given another theoretical example out of the net. I just looks good, so I just copied this. So a fact will have a direct join with multiple dimensions, and each dimension has other dimension joins. Normally in the database, we can have snowflake schemas and the star schemas both. But coming to OBW, in the physical layer, we have both star schema and snowflake schema. But coming to BMM, we have to convert snowflake schema into star schema. Basically, how you are going to do that? Let me give you a higher look on how we are going to do that. See, these are the three tables which will represent product only. When a dimension is going to join with either dimension, it means everything has the same details almost, with some other columns getting added. So if I'm going to logically add these three table columns into a single table separately, obviously it will become a single table. So simply I'm going to add these two tables columns into this one. In that case, you have only a star schema. Of course, it's not so easy as I said, but this is on a higher level. How we are going to convert snowflake schema into star schema. One more thing you have to remember is, when I say we are going to do in the OBWE, it will be logical one. We are not going to touch the data in the database directly. We never alter generally, or we won't touch the data. We will only take the structure of the database, like table names, column names and all, and we will model it in such a way that you guys will be writing SQL queries, right? Select star from table A, comma table B, where table A equals to table B, likewise. So those things we will do in a higher level theoretical manner and on a business perspective. Obviously on the back end, it will be generated into SQL. And one more thing will be the mixed schema. It's nothing but it will have some star schemas and some will have the snowflake schemas, but a combination of both. And nowhere will be going to take this one, because obviously you are not going to combine these two facts directly in normal business scenarios. Obviously, because when you're going for some of the business scenario, you will be having that columns in the single fact itself. But if you have, we will also convert these into separate, or you will create some alias for these two tables and you will have a star schema here and another star schema. We are going to split this mixed schema into two star schemas if the scenario occurs in OBWE. Okay. So the history of the OBWE, how it has been started, what are its previous versions, what is the current one, and likewise. Sorry. Basically, NQS company has been developed a tool called NQS tool. In today's OBWE also, you will have some of the configuration files named as NQS config and likewise, which they haven't changed yet. So basically, why it is there is because initially whatever we're calling it as OBWE right now has been a tool developed by the NQS company, and it is only kind of an Excel sheet where you have some tens to hundreds of records of data. You can directly use it and create some report out of it, a simple table view or a simple line chart likewise. And then what has happened, the CBL organization has acquired this NQS company and renamed this NQS tool as CBL Analytics. So from tens to hundreds records of data has been changed to MBs of data. MB will contain obviously several thousands of records of data depending on the number of columns. So CBL Analytics has been changed this NQS tool to CBL Analytics and added few of the things called capabilities of acquiring or using more data along with few other visuals and other things. Later in the year of 2006, the Oracle, which is very good at organization or acquiring the organizations, has been acquired CBL and renamed CBL Analytics as OBIEE, and its initial version was 10G, so it has been released as OBIEE 10G. And after Oracle acquiring it, what it has done, it has given some more connectors to different databases and capacity or capability to store and to display millions of records in a single report. That is one of the beautiful advantage with the Oracle. It has enhanced the tool to capable to display the graphs and records from millions of data from hundreds to thousands. So basically in the OBW10G you have several versions. Why there are several versions means whenever there is a bug, Oracle will try to fix that and they will release some patches. So these are the different patches or intermediate versions they have released. And then this is the OBW11G. When I say X, we have multiple versions in this one again. So just kept it X. The majority of the people until last year or by the first quarter of this year, they used to either use OBW 11.117 or OBW 11.119.2 likewise. But now almost at least major of the organizations has been changed to OBW 12C. And currently we have 12.214, but probably few organizations will be using 12.212 likewise. Till here, any query guys? Before directly jumping to OBW, any queries?